Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to my channel. I have a glare. Better remove that mirror. I hope you guys are doing super well. I hope you guys are swell. That was kind of lame. Anyway, hi you guys. I have a super exciting palette to play with today. It's a brand new flavor in my ear. I have never actually used Oden's Eye before. I've been interested, I've been intrigued. I just hadn't done it. It's not available easily in the US, but you can mail order it. So I picked up the palette that is in collaboration with Angelica Nyquist. I don't speak Swedish. Anyway, this is what the box looks like. I did not get this in PR. I am not sponsored, affiliated, endorsed, nothing like that. This is a little flyer that comes with it. So it says, for this palette I had a vision of warm but still different color story that would suit both lovers of colors and lovers of neutrals. I wanted to create a color story I myself wish I had in my collection and that I wanted to share with you. Thank you for supporting this collaboration. I hope you'll have fun with this palette as I have had. Love from Oden's Eye and Angelica. Agnieszka? This is what the sleeve looks like. It is not exactly black and white, but it's definitely more muted. It has this beautiful depiction of Hela. I think it's Hela. She is kind of a mythological goddess who straddles kind of like the living and the death realms. I've always been a little bit fascinated with like ancient mythology when it comes to kind of a rebirth cycle. So this is kind of an interesting take on it for me. But anyway, that's actually a picture of Angelica right there. You can kind of see it. I probably should have zoomed in a little bit more. And the palette itself is a little intimidating. Talk about completely out of my comfort zone. Just by default, you do have a whole lot of what appears to be greens. You've got a few pops of pink in there. But if you hide a couple of these in the middle, all of a sudden it becomes, okay, maybe it's not so scary. So I'm going to be challenged a little bit here to do some looks with the more scary shades, because I've heard amazing things about it. I gotta get situated here. I've heard amazing things about this palette. I've seen amazing things about this palette. The artwork on this palette is absolutely stunning. And I think that's true for a lot of Oden's Eye palettes. I think they have a whole theme of Norwegian, Swedish mythology that they incorporate into their palettes. There is a mirror in here. It's not the biggest mirror in the world, but I think that does give you a chance to sort of enjoy the artwork around it. I'm a little nervous. I'm normally a monochromatic eyeshadow wearer. I'm not a makeup artist. I didn't get this in PR. Nobody's paying me to do this video. I want to give you guys an honest review, not only of my experience using Oden's Eye for the first time, but also, you know, let's play with the colors and let's just see. When I first look at this, I don't really see like, oh yeah, that's a look and that's a look and that's a look. I mean, when I look down a row like this, I don't want to glare you guys with the mirror. When I look down a row, I do start to see them kind of come together. Like, I can see how that would be a look. I can see how that would be a look. And yes. And then also down a column, okay, yeah, This one's a little bit more challenging for me. This seems like it's awfully dark. Not sure on that one, maybe. I also like to look for like squares of color. So is that a color story? Okay, yeah, that for sure. Yeah, that works for me. Maybe. That's definitely edgy. That's beautiful. Yeah, okay, so as I start to kind of train my eye to look for stuff, I go, okay. Now, I'm not somebody who's normally super overtly creative. Like, I don't go all out with landscapes and super artistic stuff. That just doesn't work with my lifestyle. If you are a lady of a certain age, as I am, who's not a makeup artist, we kind of look at these palettes and go, can we get 2 or 3 looks and does it fit in with our lifestyle? So usually I like to look for, can I get a work look? Can I get a fun daytime, you know, playful look? And can I get a date night look? Those are the 3 kind of looks I normally try to go for. I think I can find these in this palette. We're gonna have to play with it. I'm gonna get you caught up on what I already have going on my face. Today I use the NYX Plump Right Back. I'm also using the Ordinary Foundation Serum. I actually really like this. I do have a little bit of the ABH Eyelid Primer on. It has had plenty of time to sit down now. When I first put this on, it goes on so opaque, and I get a little nervous, but I think it's okay right now. I also have a Sigma, what is this? This is their Aura face powder that I picked up. I think this was on sale relatively recently. I use this to kind of warm up the complexion a little bit. I think it's gorgeous. I'm super excited to have this in my collection. And then I also dipped into just one of the shades in this Oprah blush palette. This is called Blushful. And today I only used this. Oh, I just dug my fingernail into it. I can't be taken anywhere. I used this pink right here just as a little bit of a flush color because I knew that this palette from Oden's Eye was going to be very, very spring-like. So let's do, we need to start with the boring look. I know that's not always your guys' favorites, but if I have a colorful eyeshadow like this, one of the things I want to know is, in a pinch, if this is just sitting on my vanity, can I use it for work? Is it going to be appropriate in a corporate setting? Now, when I first look at this, I don't have a real specific light colored transition shade. I'm gonna grab this matte right here. It looks like it might have a little bit of a green base to it, but let's just see here. I do work in a corporate environment. I do meet with a lot of management and ownership type levels, and I need to be taken seriously. Now, not every environment, not every work environment is going to be like that, right? I also, when I'm working from home, I tend to wear glasses more than not. And when I wear glasses, I don't usually go overboard with too much eyeshadow. I just think it kind of weigh down, and I already have small, close-set hooded eyes. I don't need any help with that. Okay, yeah, so you know what? I just used a little tiny bit of that as a wash of color right there. And I think that's perfectly fine. Let's deepen this up a little bit with this shade right here in the corner. And again, this seems like it has a little bit of a green shift to it, but let's just see, can we get a work appropriate look? Now, I am someone who tends to err on the side of smoky eyeshadows anyway. When I get excited about trying a new palette, I do end up going a little smoky. If you guys are not new here, you know this. I'm okay with a smoky eyeshadow. I took a clean brush just to kind of blend those two shades in together. And you know what? That's a subtle wash of color. It's a little on the cool side, and that's fine. I'm gonna go back into this shade right here that I used at first and just kind of go over the top edge of this a little bit here because I want to pull that out just a little bit more, and they blended together very nicely. Yeah, I would wear those two neutrals as a everyday work look. In fact, I'm actually gonna take this lighter shade, the first shade I used, and I'm just gonna take it all the way down all over my lid because chances are for work, I am going to do a matte, predominantly matte eyeshadow look. And nothing too crazy, nothing too out of the ordinary. Yeah, I think that actually works perfectly fine. Do I have I'm gonna grab a little bit of more of like a pencil smudger brush here. I'm gonna go into this darkest shade right here, which seems like it almost has a little bit of a purple undertone to it. And I'm just gonna use that to darken up the lash line. And I typically don't do cream gel, kohl, or a liquid liner for work because I want it to be a little bit more soft, not less severe. I think with the work looks for me, the key is I don't want people to look at me and go, oh, your makeup looks really beautiful, which seems weird because you put all this time and energy into it. So you kind of want to, you know, acknowledge the fact that you've got makeup on. But at the end of the day, if you're there for a business meeting, do you really want to be known for your makeup? You want to be known for your content. Not like, you know, YouTube content, but like, you know, content of whatever your meeting is. Okay, let's put a quick coat of mascara on just so we can finish up what to me would be a work look. Okay, you guys, look number one. Could it get any easier or any more boring? Neutral? That's perfectly fine. When I looked at this palette, I was like, no way can I get a neutral, everyday, completely work appropriate work look, and I just did. Let's flip over to the other eye and do something. You know what? I'm gonna do, let's do creative. Let's do date night on this side. I almost have too many choices in here. I'm gonna start with this pink right here. And a little tiny bit of kick up, but not bad. I didn't really zoom you guys in, or you guys are close enough, right? I'm using that as my transition shade. Very pretty. Okay, I do feel like these go on really well with a light hand. Sometimes when you do like just a light dusting of a color, it can get a little patchy. And I love that this doesn't seem to be getting patchy at all. Okay, sheer, subtle wash of color. It's just right. Okay, I'm gonna take the kind of more fuchsia color. I should be telling you what colors these are, like what the shade names are. But I gotta be honest, I have my contacts on, and when I do, sometimes it's hard for me to actually make out the letters, especially on a background like this. I believe the first one was Hela, I think it's Hela. This shade right now is called Goddess. On this eye over here, I used, it's so hard for me to read on these little, you guys. So I used Wolf and Decay. Wolf, Decay, and Soot I used on this eye. This side is significantly pink and bold. Okay, I'm gonna take that same shade down here a little bit more on my, right against my lash line. I'm just smudging it into that lash line. So I gotta ask you guys, have you purchased Oden's Eye in the past? If so, which palettes? Do you recommend them? Did you like the color story? Did you like the quality? I know that they have different sizes of palettes, which I thought was pretty interesting. Sometimes I like palettes that all look very cohesive on a shelf when it comes to the same brand. That doesn't always work out, but I'm gonna go back into the lighter pink and just kind of buff out that top ledge here. It's like the OCD, right? So when you have a brand that gives you so many different sizes of palettes or even different shape, when you have that, sometimes it's like, how's it gonna look on a shelf? You know what? I'm gonna use this green. I wasn't going to. I'm intrigued by how this would look with that pink. Wow, that's actually really kind of a fun combination. That is not anything I would have ever done before. I'm so excited right now, you guys. It almost turned a little, that green color, it's called Ouroboros. Yeah, Ouroboros, I think is how it's pronounced. It almost got a little blue. That's fun. I'm gonna take this shimmer right here. Oh, that's super creamy. That feels great. This one's called River, and I believe it's a duochrome. It might even be a topper. I'm gonna put it right here, kind of in the center. It's gonna overlap the pink on the top and the bottom and come into that green. That's really fun. Okay, now I'm gonna go into the peach shimmer in here called Hellfire, and we're gonna put a little of that on the inner portion of the eye. That one definitely has like a gold undertone to it. And normally I say, oh, I've got super fat fingers and I get it all over the place, but I actually didn't get it all over the place. That's surprising. And I'm gonna go in with, I think it's another duochrome. It's called Double-Sided. This one right here. And we're gonna put a little of that right here. Oh wow, that's got a really gorgeous, multifaceted shift. It's a little pink, it's a little gold. It looks white or silver in the pan. I am thrilled with that. We need to darken up the lash line here. So we're gonna take the darkest shade in here again, which is Soot, I believe. Stamp it right in, lash line. You guys, it's funny, I watch a lot of YouTube, and a lot of the YouTube I watch is like for news. And I do it intentionally. Well, of course, but I watch a lot of different news sources, foreign news sources, sometimes to figure out what's going on in the US. And I know that seems kind of strange, but I don't necessarily trust one news source. I tend to watch a variety of them, and I figure somewhere in the middle might even be the truth. And I try to take the agenda of whoever might be talking, you know, in mind. Just try to figure out what's kind of going on in the world. Anyway, one of the things I've noticed is it's increasingly hard to find makeup application YouTube videos anymore. That feels like it got a little severe down here. So I'm gonna go back into the lightest pink in here. I'm gonna try to soften that. Oh yeah, that helps quite a bit. So anyway, so I love watching application YouTube videos, especially when I'm getting ready. Sometimes all you get is people talking about stuff, and I'm like, what happened to the days of actual videos when people did applications? Because I still love those. I'm gonna actually take that dark green again, and I know I've got several colors kind of layered here. I've got the purple, I've got the darker color, I got the lighter color. This is end up being so pretty. I'm thrilled. I would never have done this. This is far out of my comfort zone. I'm gonna put a little mascara on. I'll be right back. Okay, you guys, I am feeling all kinds of creative with this look over here. Let's see if we can hide the boring normal one. That is my date night look that I created with this collaboration with Oden's Eye and Angelica. And I really like it. I wouldn't have normally thought to do a color combination like this, but I gotta be honest, this feels like what I needed. I've been doing so much of this that to do this, it feels beautiful. It feels fresh. It feels spring-like. It feels summer-like. It feels like a breath of fresh air and newness and growth. And I am shocked at how pretty this is. Okay, you guys. I'm gonna take both of these off and let's come back and do third and final, I guess more of kind of like a fun daytime look. I guess this could be a fun daytime look, but to me this is a little bit more exotic, more day night. So let's take this off, I'll be right back. We are back a little bit more cleaned up. My contacts are a little fuzzy right now, so we're gonna pretend that we can see everything just perfectly fine. I really wanted to use this bright yellow in here because I normally don't use yellow eyeshadow, but for whatever reason, because this is a matte, I thought maybe it would be a really good like eye brightener. And I'm feeling kind of like I needed an eye brightener. Now, some people will say, oh, you can use yellow for color correct. Maybe I'm hoping for that. I was feeling a little dark in here. This time around, I've got the Beauty Bay eye base on, which looks like this. I actually really like this. I think I actually might even appreciate it a little bit more than the ABH eyeshadow primer that I was using for the first two looks. It goes on still with a little bit of opacity, but I find it a little bit easier to control and it doesn't freak me out when I use it. I know that seems strange, but that's just kind of the way it is. I don't know how I would say this. We're gonna use this yellow here a little bit further in. I feel like it's really intended to be with some sort of jarring colors, like you have these really spring greens in here, you've got some petal pinks, and then you've got like these kind of grungier colors. I don't know, like sour? I don't know if that makes sense or not. This particular shade of green is a tough one to start with, but we're gonna try to ground it and blend it in and make it all look like something we intended we intended to have on our eyes. I'm just gonna go in with this one next. I've got the same brush. I haven't changed brushes here. Wow, that color looks way different on the eye than I thought it would. This is the color right here, and it's very much a brighter green than I thought it would be. That's interesting. Apparently we're doing a yellow and green starting with the yellow and green kind of monochromatic look. I really want to just use every color in here and see what they all kind of look like together, but that's not a good plan. It's not really what we're intending to do here. Let me grab a clean brush and I'm just gonna kind of blend this, sort of shear out this top edge here. I feel like this went from like an acid yellow all the way to this really fresh Irish spring green here on the end. I really want to grab this shade out here, kind of blend in and ground it, and it does have a green base to it, so it definitely goes with this whole monochromatic thing that we have going on. So I guess the question is, if you're doing a fun, not work look, would you do greens? Because I would. I feel like that one got a little patchy, and I didn't use it too terribly much the first time around. Yeah, okay, it's blending a little bit better now. I've had zero issues with these shadows, aside from one looking less yellow than I thought it would be on the actual eye. I have zero issues with the formula. Formula and opacity, like the actual pigment, I think is actually pretty good. I think when I'm doing fun looks, that's when I can take a little bit more time anyway. And I'm finding that even if it does start off a little patchy, it's building up and that patchiness is going away as I blend it. Yeah, I like this. You guys, I encourage you guys to watch Angelica's video on this because she's done some just like stupid, gorgeous, crazy looks. She has the most beautiful, I don't know if they're blue eyes or green eyes. I think they're blue now that I think about it. She's just stunning. Absolutely just gorgeous. She moved recently to Austin. You guys have heard me talk about her before, I think. I really like her as a content creator. I really like her as an artist. I'm excited to pick up this. I didn't get her Club Nebula that she did with Kaleidos. I wanted it, but I ended up not picking it up when it was available, and I don't think it ever restocked. Or if it did restock, I didn't get it on the second release either. Stout. I did pick up a couple Kaleidos palettes. This one reminds me a little bit of the Flower Punk, but like a bigger version of it. Okay, I just keep building up that darker color a little bit. And they're all blending in together. Yeah, kind of fun, kind of different. All right, I've got to use this shade right here. This has been calling to me for so long now. Oh yeah, That's really, really pretty. You know what this reminds me of right now? It reminds me a little bit of the Glamlight Happy Hour palette, the Dirty Martini one. It's kind of reminding me of that. Are you guys getting that? You guys get that sense? And while that darker green color called Decay, while it did get a little bit patchy, it's covering right up with this shimmer and I don't even notice it. I probably could have spent more time blending, in all honesty. I'm just so excited to play with these shadows that I'm just not being... That's how you know I'm not a real YouTuber or a real makeup artist, is because I just get so excited. I'm like a kid in a candy store playing with the new palettes. Okay, that's pretty. I'm excited about that. We gotta go in with a lighter one now. I don't know that I'm gonna use all the shades in this palette, but I'm doing a pretty good job of trying to get through most of them. Wow, really, really pretty, you guys. Now, sometimes you guys don't like greens, that's okay. Sometimes you don't like grungy greens like I do, that's okay too. These have a quality about them that even though this is a yellow-green monochromatic look, right? There's a quality about these that look very, very interesting. I feel like these are shades that you would see in a forest, you know? Like you don't get just one shade of green, you get so many different shades and tones of green and different textures of green, and I think that's super cool. I'm just gonna take this darker green right here and we're gonna build up right here. Boy, against that yellow, that turns into such a Kelly green. I'm gonna drag a little of it down here. I've got a little transfer under my eyes. I've got quite a bit of transfer under my eyes. We're gonna have to clean that up here. That green is almost it's like an emerald green, and it went way more vibrant green than I thought it was gonna be. Man, I really wanna take this shade right here and just keep building up the depth. Yeah, that one feels like it's got a little bit of either like an espresso or a purple base to it, and that is absolutely what I would reach for on a regular basis, because it's not a black, it's not a harsh color. I almost feel like it's old espresso beans, old like ground used espresso beans. I don't know that that's what she was going for, but that's kind of what it reminds me of. I'm gonna try to clean up some of the fallout. I'm gonna need some more sealer, I think. This eyeshadow makes me feel like a woodland nymph. Let me clean up some of this, I'll be right back. I'm gonna grab this yellow here and dust a little bit of it under here just to kind of tie in those shades. Wow, what a fun palette. I don't know if you need yellows or greens in your collection, but I am thrilled I have it. I'm gonna put on a little, do I have any eyeliner? Maybe a little tiny bit here. Do I have the black? I've got a black liquid. Let me put a little bit of this on and some mascara. I'll be right back. Okay, you guys, I am back. Wow, this is unexpected. I gotta be honest. I didn't know which direction I was going in. This is so fun and vibrant and fresh and spring-like and green, and I've been wearing so much green and orange this particular season. I am thrilled to have this palette. I know that was a lot of steps. That was a lot of stuff that I put on here. I think this little lipstick might be a little too dark. I don't know what I'm doing here. Okay, so this is it. Did I get 3 different looks that as a non-makeup artist I would leave the house in using this Hela, right? Hela, am I saying it right? Hela? Using this palette. I don't know. Duality, light and dark, life and decay, and all those crazy concepts, you know, 2 sides of the coin. I guess you can't have one without the other, right? So anyway, do I like the palette? I do. It's different, but you know what? I think it does read as a standalone palette. I don't feel like I really need to dip into a matte neutral palette to get some looks out of this. Yeah. I'm excited to have this. This made me feel all kinds of creative. So I don't know if that helps you guys at all. Oden's Eye is where you can purchase it. When I'm filming this, I believe it's still available. So good luck with that. I don't have any kind of coupon codes. Again, I'm not affiliated or sponsored. I just really wanted to try the brand. I wanted to try the formula. I wanted to support Angie because I really do love her channel. And I'm excited. This is different. All right, you guys, I hope you guys are doing really well, and go ahead and hit the subscribe button if you're feeling generous. Stick around. I'd love to see you guys here again. I do tend to upload Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern time. Love interactions, so feel free to leave me a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think of these palettes. Did you like any of these looks? Would you do any of these looks? And until next time, bye for now.